Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James. Time for another installment of My Personal Games. Again, we're going to be going over my rounds 5 and 6 from the September Gladiators 2022. Well, I was not able to play the round 3 or 4, so I took some buys, but I'm back in for round 5 and 6, and this time I get to play against one of our new members, Logan Smoot, which I was actually very excited to play because he looks like he was a very strong chess player. And, well, he did live up to his name. In this game, I'm going to be playing with the white pieces. We get to play Ruy Lopez. Here we go. Here we go with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, my Ruy Lopez, a6, Morphy's defense, bishop to a4, pawn to b5, bishop b3, knight f6, and apparently this is called the Caro variation, and castles here, and knight takes on e4. Here, I have never really played these lines too much. I don't play them too often. So when you play this, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, here we go. Game on. At this point, it looks like the best move here was not the move that I played. Or maybe it was. Maybe this is the main line. Just remember, at these lines, you're supposed to be playing this pawn move to d4. It looks like rook e1 is the other move to play here. And, well, it looks like white is actually doing really well in these lines. So it looks like rook e1 is the move here. After knight c5, bishop d5 gets played, and then bishop b7, and I assume you just play, yep, pawn to d4. Man, yeah, it looks like white's getting a very strong attack in these lines. With that being said, I thought the move here was to play pawn d4, so I played it, and it's a decent enough move, but this does allow equality here for black. So pawn d5 gets played, d takes on e5, bishop e6. Again, from my memory, this is the open main line variation. Maybe we just transposed into it, but I thought this was an equal enough position. I played pawn c3 because I believe a lot of players played pawn c3. And yep, c3 looks like it's a very popular move behind the move knight b to d2. The only reason why I didn't choose the knight b to d2 is because of the knight c5 here. And I think here they even play pawn c3 here too. Okay, with that being said, I went ahead and just played the c3 move. Bishop c5, interesting move. I played knight b to d2 now. And here he makes a move I'm not too aware of. He played knight takes d2. Now, I did go over this later, and someone had told me, well, one of my coaches that I work with, he told me this knight takes f2 variation is something that you should know about it. Although it is refuted, you have to know the line or else it's very hard to figure out over the board. And here, yep, coach is right. After rook takes on f2, it looks like there's a lot of tricky lines here for black to play. All right, with that being said, he played knight takes, bishop takes, castles right here, bishop g5 free tempo, queen to d7, and here I played queen d2. The idea here was just to develop and open up for the rooks. I definitely want to make a queen move here. Although I do like the computer suggestion here with queen to d3. Oh, wait a second. What's the idea of queen d3? Don't they just play bishop f5 here? No, they can't. So yeah, this queen d3 move is definitely a move I might consider for next time. Although it may look weird, the idea is to play bishop c2 here and try to create some weaknesses, which is actually what I do later on in the game. But I played queen d2 first, knight to e7, knight to d4 here. The idea is to take away this f5 square here. Pawn c6, a move I was happy to see. I'm not too sure why Mr. Smoot made this move. I mean, it does defend the d5 square, but to me it looked like it was pretty well defended. Maybe he was looking already to go to these f5 squares with one of his pieces. Bishop c2. Now, well, this f5 square is mine. Unless he wants to give me the bishop pair, which I'm more than happy to allow that to happen. Here, knight f5 got played. And here, I just played queen to d3. Again, this is the idea. I'm trying to create some kind of weaknesses over here on the king side. I definitely am feeling a good presence on the king side, but I got to get more pieces over there to attack. Here he played g6, a good move. It defends the knight, and also is going to defend the checkmate square. And now that I've created some dark square weaknesses around the king, I went ahead and just played queen d2. Again, I don't play this position too much, so I wasn't really too sure what to do here. And I was really trying to calculate to see if I can get another bishop f6, the lollipop checkmate idea, queen over here, and checkmate on the dark squares. With that being said, I could not find a forced way to do that. He played rook f2 e8. Again, he's just playing top moves over here for computer. And I played king h1. Again, I wasn't too sure what to do in this situation. I didn't like f4 so much because, well, although it looks aggressive right here, I did want to put myself into this pin. And yeah, I saw that I was cutting off my queen from getting over here so easily too. That's one of the ways to play here. With that being said, I did play king h1, kind of a waiting move. And maybe I'll play f4 later on, but I won't be in the pin anymore. And here, well, he went ahead and made a move that helped me out. He played pawn to b4. All right, white to move. What do you do here? It's white to move and win some material. All right, hopefully push pause. Hopefully you want to try and guess the moves. Here, what do we play? Here's simple chess. We just win the pawn by playing. We want to play c takes b4, but we can't just yet because they take on d4. So get rid of the knight. Knight takes on e6. And, well, they can't make their enters a mobile or in between move a pawn takes because we just go knight takes c5, attacking the queen, and that's going to win us a piece here. Pawn takes, knight takes, and, yeah, white's just easily winning in this position. So, because of that enters a mobile right there, you have to take back, and now I just take back on b4. All right, bishop back to f8. Rook f to e1, rook to b8 attacking the b4 pawn, a3, bishop g7, pawn to f4, h6, bishop takes, forced move, queen takes. Of course, if you try to bring your queen back, the knight will just take, so I went ahead and just took, and then I played bishop back to h4, pawn to g5 here. A very nice move by him. At this point, everything's kind of going to plan, right? White just has a nice advantage here. So I like that he played the most challenging move of g5. Unfortunately, here he did not proceed the correct way. After takes, here I went ahead and played bishop takes. He took with rook. He played rook e6 here. After rook takes, the game was actually not so simple here because, as he had mentioned in the game, one of the reasons why he sacrificed the b4 pawn was to give himself a passed pawn. And this is quite annoying right here. Here the computer doesn't even give this a full point advantage. It's only giving me 0.9, 0.7 advantage here. But here, when he played rook e6, the game becomes a little bit easier here. I went ahead and played rook f1. And here, unfortunately, he blundered with queen takes e5. All right, white to move and win. This is an easy one. Hopefully you got it. All right. Hopefully you got this one. Here, just bishop f4, skewering the queen and the rook. There's no good place to move the queen to. So here he just loses the game pretty fast. Queen takes b2, trade queens, and then just take the rook. And now you're just up an extra piece. The rest of the moves are not too interesting here as I'm just up a piece. And yeah, pretty easy technique here for me. Bishop back, rook over. Yeah, and here he just blunders again. Bishop d4 check. All right, on to the next game. Here we're going to be seeing Nathan Adelstein versus his ex-coach, Jesse Lozano. Nathan's a very talented player here in San Antonio, and I'm very happy that he's continuing to play chess. All right, here in this game, he's playing with the white pieces. He played e4, and I went ahead and chose something a little bit different. I played pawn d5. I wanted to try out the Scandinavian. Although I did like this game, I wasn't able to get all the moves in it. It was a game 30, and I spent a lot of time in it, as I don't play the Scandinavian all the time. E takes d5, queen takes d5, knight c3, queen d6, pawn to d4, knight f6, bishop c4, bishop g4, and here we played the best move of knight g to e2. And, well, this is a very good move for him. I played the pawn to c6. One of the big ideas when you play a Scandinavian is to cover this d5 square. Bishop e3 got played. Pawn to e6, pawn to h3, bishop h5. As I like to say, you play the pawn c6, you play the pawn to e6, and you got the pinchers over here. And, well, you're just going to try and stop white from crushing through because they have such a big lead in development. Here, all black does is just keep developing, and they're going to try prodding and kneading at these weaknesses. It's funny, the d4 pawn is both the strength and the weakness in the game. Although the computer will give this a 0.7 advantage, it's just kind of hard to play here. Here, queen d2 got played. I played knight bd7. He played knight f4, going for the bishop pair. That's quite okay. Because this is a closed position right now, the bishop pair does not mean too much, especially this light square bishop. As you can see, it's just hitting nothing. All right, I played bishop g6, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop f4, queen b4, tempo off the bishop, bishop b3, knight to b6, a3, queen a5, and here an interesting move by him. He decides to go to endgame and plays knight to e4. Now this pretty much guarantees me equality in the position, so I was more than happy to trade. Queen takes, knight takes, and castles queenside. Pawn c3, pawn c5. I'm trying to make some kind of weakness here. Either I can take on d4 and create an isolated pawn, or he'll take me, and after bishop takes, well, I got a good bishop here. I'm actually really impressed. Nathan played very, very well here. He played knight f3, knight to d5 here, bishop back, pawn to f6, castles, pawn c4 here. Here, I decided to go ahead and close the position, as again, he does have the bishop pair here, and well, that's if the position opens up, the bishops will be better. Here, bishop c2 got played. Pawn g5 to defend the pawn. Rook to h2 e1. King to d7. Rook to e4. Bishop d6. Rook over to e1. And here, rook to e8. At this point, the position was starting to get a little bit wild right here. And yeah, at this point, the game was not really recorded. Unfortunately, we usually have DGTs on here, and it was only a game 30, like I said. I think the next few moves that I played was king to d2, and then or he played king d2 here. And I was sitting at this position for quite a while trying to figure out the best move to play. I really wanted my knight to get to f4 right here, but with that being said, he can just take. And so, yeah, to be honest, I'm not too sure. I think I went ahead and just played bishop f4 check here. And then he played his king back to d1. And at this point, the position is about equal, and we went back and forth for quite a while. At some point, I was able to actually crush through over here on the queen side. On the king side over here, sorry. Unfortunately, I don't have the rest of this game. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this round 5 and 6. We'll see you in the next one.